Steve Morales here, and today we're going to be covering some soft tissue and myofascial release work that you can do using three tools. We have the massage stick, the lacrosse ball, and then the foam roller right here. And this is going to be to help alleviate some of the pull that the muscles put on your knee cap specifically. A lot of times people end up getting problems with the knee where it's just hurting when they're coming out of a chair or walking, going upstairs. And then they'll go to the gym and then it really does hurt there, and they can't quite understand not necessarily what's causing it, but the soft tissue side of things where they don't know what to do to help pull some of that off. The example that I give for clients is that if I have tension somewhere in my quad, if it bundles up, that muscle bundles up, it's pulling the kneecap in various directions, and as it does that, it creates a lot of strain. And with that strain, what it's going to do is it's actually going to force the kneecap to start to track wrong. As it does that, it actually rubs some of the cartilage wrong, and then you expose nerve. It just doesn't feel very well. So when I personally do my leg workouts, in between, especially if I'm starting to feel my knees, I'll do it before the workout and then I'll do it during. So on my rest periods, I'll get some of these tools and I'll use these to help pull some of that strain off of the kneecap. Because as you're working out, you're going to draw more and more blood into the legs. It's going to get tighter, and as it gets tighter, it's going to create more pull on there. So let's go ahead and start with the foam roller first. First thing we're going to do is actually just foam roll the quad. This is one of the most painful, in my opinions, in terms of foam rolling, just because a lot of people have tension in the quad. I'm going to lay down, and my leg, whichever leg you're going to start with, is over the foam roller, okay? The other leg is actually out to the side. It's not on the foam roller, so that I can prop up on the toe to make it easier for me to leverage and rock and roll back and forth like this. Now, with this, you kind of are in a forearm position. I have a lot of people that start to come up high. That's not as much weight. You're making it easier on yourself, okay? We want to be down here on the forearms, and I'm just going back and forth. And I can drop to the knee, and I will, on this leg that's kind of out to the side, just so I can focus on one area. Because otherwise, you're going to get tired holding. I'm in a plank position right now, right? Like my abs are going to get tired. I don't want to create a ton of strain anywhere else. So I will leverage the knee down, but I pull it up so that I can move, right? And I'll kind of shift back and forth, hit various angles on this. When I find spots like right here where I can feel it's just really, really tight, I'll actually pull my leg in like this, and then I'll slowly let it drop down and out like that to pull through that tension. You do want to make sure that you're going through the full length of the quad. A lot of people might stick to one area. The front side of your leg is big, right? Make sure you're getting up here towards the groin also, okay? So not just down in one specific spot, okay? As far as time that you're going to spend, maybe to start 30 to 45 seconds and then build up to more like a minute, minute and a half on one side and then the other. The next one that I want to show you is for the adductor. Okay, so we just hit the top part of the leg, the quad right here. The adductor is going to be the inner part of the leg, right? It comes from my groin, it runs all the way down into this muscle here, your medialis. This creates a lot of strain, especially I notice a lot with guys. It's super tight, the groin is super tight. As it pulls on this, it pulls the kneecap in medially, right? So it pulls it in this way towards the inside part of the leg. As it does that, they'll get pain down here. This is actually the most common that I see, is pain on the inside part of the knee right here, okay? This is going to be one of the things that's going to help. So you're going to lie this down on your side, you'll lie next to this, and then you're essentially going to hike your leg up and bring it here, okay? Not necessarily 100% like a 90-degree angle, I don't need it that high, but it's also not way down here like this, okay? It's kind of in between, like, I don't know, close to like 45, between 45 and 90 degrees, okay? Now once I'm here, same thing, I'll be down in a forearm plank, but I'm going to roll out and in. I'll roll out and in like this, finding certain areas. I do prop up under the toe. When I find an area where I can rest a little bit, I can drop down to my knee if I need to. I will typically concentrate a lot on that medialis, kind of down towards the knee, okay? And I can go side to side with this, just like this. If I find a sticking spot, I can pull the knee in, and then I can slowly let it drop out. Pull the knee in, I'll slowly let it drop out, just like with the front, the other one that we did for the top part of the quad. With that technique, typically I'm doing 4 or 5. The same thing would apply if I'm doing it for the top part of my quad or right here for my adductor. I'm going to find one of those spots, I'm going to drop that out about 4 to 5 times, and I might find anywhere from like 2 to 4 of those different spots that I would do that technique on, okay? So you do the quad, we'll do the adductor, obviously you're doing each side. I'm just showing you with the one side here. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is actually for your IT band. So for this one, you'll pop up on your hip. So I can stack like this first just to show you what it's going to look like. I'm up on my hip right now. I do want to be down on my forearm. Same thing, people have a tendency to try and prop their body up like this. This is just making it easier where there's not as much tension on the area, so you're not getting quite the same benefit from it. It's kind of the equivalent of a massage therapist going really, really lighter on you or trying to actually get in there and dig out some of the tension, okay? Now once I'm here, I'll bring the top leg up and over. This is my guide leg, okay? So with this, I'm going to actually prop up so that I can push, and it can be my guide, my control leg. Down here on the forearm, I usually prop my other hand here too. I am trying to stack right here. I see people that kind of like bend in like this. And that's usually because it's painful and they want to try and avoid some of that pain. But you want to stack here, okay? Same thing we've been talking about, full length of the IT band. So basically from right where above my knee, where my knee's at right here, all the way down up into my hip. With this, you want to be mindful of the fact that I wouldn't just hit all of these necessarily just completely dead on. Like I'm going to tilt a little bit, okay? Because there's some surface area that I might miss if I'm just real strict with that. You're exploring this, okay? You're trying to find certain areas. So for me, right there is a pretty big knot. I might even sit here for a little bit of time too. You'll find that also, where I could sit here for maybe 30 seconds to about a minute and a half, and eventually you should feel that the pain begins to go away a little bit and that the muscle begins to relax over this, okay? So, rolling back and forth, shifting around a little bit, finding areas, making sure that you're kind of hitting those spots that really, really need it. A lot of times I'll see that people have an avoidance where it's painful, so they don't want to do it. I promise you though, after doing these, your legs, you walk around a little bit, shake them out, they will feel much, much better. And especially, I'll notice it when I'm working out. I'll do this if I'm starting to feel that the knee is hurting, and I'll do this. It'll actually alleviate all of that, so I can continue the workout without having to stop because I'm in pain with my knee. With the medical exercise stuff, we usually say don't ice skate through pain. So if a muscle or a joint or something like that truly is really, really in pain, you don't push through it because you're really just hurting yourself, okay? With this, a lot of times, like I said, and this isn't for every single case, but a lot of times it's the tension, the tightness in the quad here that's creating a pull on the kneecap that's really causing that irritation that you're feeling, okay? So this has been the foam roller. We're going to stop this right here. This will be part 1, and then we're going to get into the other 2 techniques for part 2.